Hello everyone, we are D&D Breakfast Club. We wanted to invite you to our table today to talk about everything related to D&D 5th edition. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 cantrips of D&D, what those cantrips mean to us, and what they can mean for you and your group.
My personal favorite cantrip is Thaumaturgy, which is one action and has a duration of a minute. And of all the flavor cantrips, it's my favorite because it kind of resonates with an overabundance of power. Everything about it strikes me as a power that just kind of radiates from your character, whether it's making, tremors in the ground. You can have your eyes change color. You can have maybe all the candles in a room change color when you're in the area, which reminds me of what's the book, Patrick Rothfuss, The Name of the Wind, where the Chandrian always have blue flames around them. Anything along those lines. You can make creepy whispers or the cries of a crow or, shutters of a window or a door slam open or slam closed. And everything about it, to me, just reeks of something far more powerful than a simple cantrip should. Even though it doesn't directly do a lot of things that it would imply, all that power, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a godlike entity, but it definitely gives that theme of too much power bottled up inside that one person. And that's everything I want from a cantrip, especially since you can have, I think, up to 3 of them at the same time going. You can really lay it on pretty thick, especially if your eyes go crazy with flame and then you hear the boom of thunder and everything starts to rumble as you walk in. You kick open the doors without touching them. All of a sudden, you look like you're making an entrance.
It kind of reminds me of Princess Bride, when they're making an entrance and they have all the different effects going and wheeling them in on a wheelbarrow. That scene is just hilarious because his intimidation factor increases by 10.
Fezzik.
Yeah.
I love Fezzik. I selected Guidance, and though I am a new player, I think it's a pretty essential cantrip to have, especially in lower levels. So I always like when my friends have this. So it only takes one action. It's ranges the touch, and it will give you a D4 for any kind of skill check. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm learning. Here you go. Matt's learning D&D. So
you've seen in our campaign, you've seen Brian's character Merrick cast it quite a bit.
Yep.
Help out with tasks.
Absolutely. And like I said, especially at lower levels, this is a really useful spell. So I think we're going to put that one right up at the top.
That's the one you'd take if you had to select one?
Yeah, if I was a cleric, definitely I would. I think it's a must-have as, a support character.
I do like one cantrip, Shocking Grasp. One that I feel is a little bit overlooked. A lot of mages like to stay at range, and it helps you walk away from somebody who's up in your face. So just hit them with a Shocking Grasp, walk away without provoking attack of opportunity.
They lose their reactions, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they can't hit you while you're leaving their threat range.
Yep. And then it's because it's a cantrip, you can cast more than just that in that turn, so you can do a second or third or whatever level spell you have afterwards.
As like a bonus action.
Yes. Like a bonus action, like if you wanted to Misty Step afterwards, you could. Something like that to get further away.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you could cast Misty Step, but if you have someone who's a Mage Slayer, they could do attack of opportunity or whatever.
Oh, Mage Slayer is the feat where if they're casting the spell, you hit them.
Yeah, you can use a reaction to do an attack against them. So it just gives you more options. I always like it because it gives you something that you can do to block other people that are trying to get around to the squishy mage.
I think you also have advantage on the roll if they're wearing enough metal. If they're wearing metal stuff, like metal armor.
Is that how it works?
I think so.
Here, I got it pulled up. Shocking Grasp takes 1 action, and you have advantage on the attack if they're wearing armor made of metal.
Which is kind of awesome. If they're a warrior and they're going like 4 attacks, your face can be like, fuck off, I'm running. Yeah.
So that's good to know. We haven't had a chance to use it a lot that I remember. There's been a few times, though.
No, I know I took it on the Eldritch Knight I had, but for the most part, I haven't really had too many people get up in his face because he's a fighter, so didn't have much use for it. But every time I make a character that can learn it, I usually end up taking it just because there's that off chance where he might need it to run away.
What about you, Josh?
I mean, it's a hard question. There's a lot of good options. Like, I mean, minor illusion's great. Like, you can make a box, hide in the box. It's not a real box. You can see through it. They can't see in. So that's really cool. Eldritch Blast is the best damage cantrip probably in the game. But my favorite cantrip of all time, it's kind of classic, is Prestidigitation. And I think I really love it because there's this one campaign that we were playing where my character used it to clean a dirty diaper and to do the dishes, which is great because I'm a dad and I wish in real life I had spells that could clean dirty diapers and do dishes. I would really, that would be my favorite magic.
That'd be the one if you could take in real life.
Yeah, if you could take one spell in real life, I'd be like fucking Prestidigitation, like hands down.
I can do it all day long.
Yeah, like doing dishes, changing diapers. It's so good.
I was the GM, and I'm like, here's a baby, and here's the troubles with a baby. It poops itself, and then
Like
someone's like,
Prestidigitation.
and they just waved away my complication with the wave of their hand.
So good. So I'll read the text. Let's see. The duration is up to 1 hour, which is kind of nice. Casting time is 1 action. Range is 10 feet. Components are verbal and somatic. And it says the spell is a minor magical trick that novice spellcasters use for practice. You create one of the following magic effects within range. You can create an instantaneous harmless sensory effect like a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor. You instantaneously light or snuff out a candle or torch or a small campfire. You instantaneously clean or soil, which is great for when your party members pass out at the bar, an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. You warm, chill, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. And you can make a color or a small mark or a symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. So phantom dicks on your friend's face after he's out, totally great. You create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand that lasts until the end of your next turn. If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time, which is really nice. So it's Thaumaturgy-esque, but it's more like little useful, helpful things instead of powerful whatever things. So that was my favorite cantrip.
Dicks on the face.
That was my best use. That's my favorite one. Like he's passed out, dick in your face, dick in your face, dick in your face. That was great.
Are you saying in or on?
On. Like you would draw the permanent marker, but the magic version of the permanent marker dick on your face is Prestidigitation.
You're just saying it fast.
Oh, sorry. On. Definitely on.
Gotcha.
I think I had a hard time choosing my favorite, but I'm going to pick a damage one. We only had one damage one. I know you said Eldritch Blast. I think that's really good for warlocks especially. But I'm going to pick one that can be used for more than just a warlock, and I'm going to pick Ray of Frost. So it was between this and Firebolt being the staple of most sorcerer or wizard casting's diet is I have one spell that I can continuously use every round when I run out of spells.
The spam.
Just every round. One more. And there's a couple things I really like about it. So, one, it's a D8 cold damage instead of a D10 for the fire one. It's not that much less. And it puts a rider on your spell cast. So when you hit someone with it, it reduces their speed by 10 feet. And that's until the start of your next turn. So if you are using it to slow someone down, something that's really cool is there's no limit on this 10 feet reduction. So say you and someone else hit someone with a Ray of Frost. You would both slow their speed by an extra 10 feet. So if they had a speed of 20, you've just effectively limited them to a speed of 0. The second part that I really like is it actually goes into their dash action too. So if their speed's 30 and then it becomes 20 because of Ray of Frost, their dash is also 20, meaning they can only make up 40 feet in one round. And if you're more than 40 feet away when you cast this spell, which has a 60-foot range, they can't get to you as long as you hit them. That's the important part, because you're the squishy caster in the back. You want to make sure that you hit them with that spell. Otherwise, they're going to probably get to you. 60 feet is about what they'd make up in a round. The second thing I really like about damage cantrips, and this is going to be something I think is more 5th edition related, is cantrips continue to level as you level. And I really like that. Compared to 3.5 edition, where you have these small abilities that just never get any better. Eventually you just outgrow them because you don't need them. But in 5th edition, when you reach 5th level, it's now 2 dice worth of damage, whatever the spell normally deals. When you reach 11th level, it's 3. When you reach 17th level for Ray of Frost, it's 4d8 damage, which is really good for a cantrip. Even though at 17th level you're doing like godly things, it's still nice to have a spammable 4d8 damage. Anything anyone has to add to the cantrip discussion?
I mean, I've seen a lot of cantrips be used for really creative stuff. Like Shape Water is really cool. Is there one that moves Earth, I think?
I thought
Mold
Brian
Earth.
was going to pick Mold Earth.
I almost did.
Yeah, because you used Mold Earth to actually save my character's life at one point. When you made it hard terrain in that one corner when those like ghouls were coming around and eating my face and shit. And the one didn't make it to me because of that. That was super great. Yeah, what are other good ones?
Yeah, that one's great because you can move up to, I think it's 5 square feet or cubic feet of dirt in a round. So if you have to dig graves or something,
just
do it really fast. The only caveat on it is it has to be loose, which
I don't know what that means.
That's vague enough that you'd probably talk to your DM about it, see if it counts as just regular Earth or if, where that line is.
Yeah. I don't know. I like mending. I've never actually used mending really well in game, but I just like the idea of being able to like fix a thing. Like
mending would probably be the thing that I'd pick if I was going to take one in real life.
Sure.
Where I can fix that thing.
Are you prone to breaking things?
I mean, maybe.
Well, and think about it too. You could be like, oh, your thing's broken. I'll buy it for you for $5. Bam! Now it works. Done.
That's your money-making scheme.
That's right. Yeah. the mending
refurbished
sweatshop.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this episode of Inside Check. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
And if you want to, leave in the comments like your favorite cantrip and why. Why not?
It is a good discussion. There are a lot of cantrips to pick from.